death, taxes, heart attacks in Austin on Saturdays. That seems to be the normal formula for a Longhorn fan every single season. If you're brand new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. I talk NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, but I love talking college football. And if this is the type of content you enjoy, Longhorns fans especially, this is the channel made for you. So hit the subscribe button down below. Tell me in the comment section your thoughts on this Texas ragtag roster. Tell your friends, your family, your sister, your brother, your mortal enemies, your best of bros about this channel. And as always, let's continue to talk college football. Texas, 29. TCU, 26. Game that probably should not have happened that way. Kind of like a lot of games for Texas this year. If we're being completely honest, Texas once again has found a way to continue its success despite shooting itself in the foot. The difference between this Texas team, though, and teams of the past, and a lot of Longhorn fans can probably understand what I'm about to say, they find a way to close the gap. But still, this is the normal bread and butter of Texas. They'll show up for the big games. When they play Alabama, dominant, physical, outworking everybody. When they play Oklahoma, great performance, solid run game, exceptional pass catching skills, and overall a very solid defensive performance. But then when you play a 3-win roster, well, then you kind of slip up a little bit. Or when you play a 5-win roster, you don't give your best performance. And in these type of games, you still win. But the problem is that you're putting your fan base basically on paralysis almost every single week. And this is not uncommon this year like it hasn't been for years in the past. Think about it. Week 2, you march into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and you get a massive win, 10-point victory, arguably the best win of the season. Then you come home and you nearly struggle against Wyoming. You go and you play up to your standard against Oklahoma. And Oklahoma is not a great team, but they're not a bad team either. They're kind of middle tier, like an Ole Miss or a Penn State for that matter. But then you go to Houston, who has its own problems and lost last night to a Cincinnati roster that's nowhere near at your same vicinity. And it takes a 4th down stop for you to hold on to a victory. You're up big against Kansas State. You stop the rushing attack. Both quarterbacks in Avery Johnson and Will Howard, known for the utilization of the legs, don't find success. But there we are in overtime, watching Chris Klieman go for it on 4th down, thus ultimately deciding the game. That's where Texas is. And last night was no different. You watched as Texas jumped out to a 26-6 lead going into the 4th quarter. And lo and behold, Josh Hoover gets 2 touchdown passes off. And Amani Bailey runs for another 17-yard score. And here we are believing that Adonai Mitchell, who has been without a doubt one of the best finds from the transfer portal in recent memory, coming up clutch, making a big catch, and icing the game. Here's the good news if you are Texas, and this is what I will say. You are closing games. You are finding out ways to guarantee yourself still in the driver's seat when it comes to making it to Arlington. And you have arguably the best win in the country against Alabama. Alabama does not lose in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And when they do, it's usually in sporadic fashion on a last-second Hail Mary or a blundering mistake in the 3rd quarter. And this is an Alabama team that's playing exceptional football right now. The version that took the field in week 2 is not the one that exists going into week 12. Almost 3 months later, this is a brand new version of the Crimson Tide. And you beat them. And you beat them soundly in their own backyard. So that's a huge plus for you. You also have back your quarterback, the right quarterback in Quinn Ewers. Was he perfect? No, not at all. He had 317 passing yards, only 1 touchdown. And he also had a bad interception. But he is the right guy to lead your team. And basically, when Ewers was out, your entire game plan was just find a way to win. Keep ourselves moving forward. Don't allow ourselves to fall into the trap like we always have because of we're Texas. And that's basically Texasing. And as long as we do that, we should be good when number 3 comes back to give us 6 points every drive. And you have that now. The problem is that you won't be at full speed. Jonathan Brooks is now out for the year with a knee injury, torn ACL. So you're going to rely heavily on CJ Baxter, on Savion Red, and on Keelan Robinson to carry the load and keep this rushing attack potent. And as long as you do that, you are going to finish out the season the way that you saw fit. 11-1 with a shot at Arlington, a shot at winning your first conference title since 2009, and an actual reality of making the college football playoff. And it is plausible. It's very plausible. You got to go travel to Jack Trice Stadium, which is a nightmare place to play because basically Iowa State is that pesky ragtag roster that doesn't know when to quit. They're like the scrawny version of Steve Rogers at the very beginning of Captain America. He can do this all day. Matt Campbell can do this all day. And if you allow him to dial up defensive schemes that give you fits, you're in a lot of trouble. And Iowa State is not a layover team. They're not a great team, but they are a team that will do business and will handle adversity if given the opportunity. And then you close out the year with Texas Tech at home. And Texas Tech, once again, another roster kind of built like Iowa State. They'll win games, they'll lose games, but they'll find a way to stay on a clear-cut path. That way they are victorious at the end of the day. That's what they did last weekend against Kansas on the road. So you have that at your disposal. If you can hold out and you can continue to play to your standard, even if you have to give a heart attack to fans, you have a shot. You do have a shot. A lot has to occur. A lot has to unfold. But if you are a Texas fan, continue to believe. Continue to have also probably your favorite alcoholic beverage by your side because you're going to need it over the next 2 weeks. Really 3 if you include Arlington too. But this is a Texas team that has weapons. This is a Texas team that has shown time and time and time again, even if we do allow there to be some trepidation, we don't allow the comeback to cease. And that is a huge difference between what we've seen of the Texas teams in the past to the ones now. It's crazy and it's annoying, but lo and behold, you still are alive. And at this point, I think Texas fans would be more pleased about that than anything else. So long as their dreams of becoming a college football playoff contender don't die before December, I think that they'll survive at least till Thanksgiving. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.